All right, so we are going to be using function notation to complete a variety of problems. So we're going to go over what that is and how to use it. Okay, so technically, generally what you're used to is writing y equals 2x plus 3. So when we use function notation, we're using f of x instead of y. So the y is simply replaced with f of x. And basically all that means is we're giving the function a name. So that there isn't 20 different functions with y equals, we have ones with different names. So we're just giving the function a name. Okay, and this is said, this right here, the way that we say that is f of x. This is not multiplication, it's function notation, and that's just saying a function that uses x. So you can see that x is being used here in the function, so that's why it's called f of x. So it's just y. The second element is often called the function value. So that just means whatever y turns out to be, that is the function value. So what we're doing here is how do we use this? What does this mean? So if I told you find y in the function y equals 2x plus 3, when x is 4, all you would do is you would plug it in. This would mean plug in for x. So I would do y equals 2 times. Everywhere there's an x, I would put parentheses, and I would put a 4 plus 3. So y equals 11. So 11 is your function value, whatever y is equal to. Now f of x is your function value. So you can see they're asking you here in this one, it's the exact same problem, written in a different way. So finding f of 4, this 4 is in the same spot the x is in. So it's telling you put 4 in for x everywhere you see it. So f of 4 is 2 times 4 plus 3, which is 11. So we use a lot of different names. We're going to use F, G, H, P, Q, whatever. It doesn't matter what variables you use. What letters you use for the function. They're going to be using all different ones. It's not always just F. Okay. So what we're using here. So this one, they give you f of x. They'll always give you the function. You're not ever going to have to remember that function. You just have to then find what they ask you. So in this case, find f of negative 2. So that means wherever there's an x, you're going to put negative 2. So negative 2 squared. And please put parentheses wherever there's an x. This makes it much easier, especially in your calculator, to do this. If you do not, for this particular question, put parentheses, you will get the question wrong. So I suggest you plug this in. Make sure that you get 1, because that is the answer. And this is the easiest way to do this, is to actually do it in the calculator. But negative 2 squared is 4. So order of operations, we do exponents first. So 4 and then 4 minus 3 is 1. So that's just doing the math. But you do have access to a calculator to at least check your work. So this one here, g of x. So now this one's called g. So they're asking you to plug 3 in everywhere there's an x. And there's, I guess, 3 places. So g of 3 equals 2 times 3 plus 8. And then 3 plus 4. Okay, so I, do this division last. So I'm going to do the top. So the top this is 6. 6 plus 8 is 14. And then the bottom is 7. So and then 14 divided by 7 is 2. So this is just order of operations stuff, where we're simply multiplying first. I get 6. 6 plus 8 is 14. And 3 plus 4 is 7, and do the division. Just a couple more. Why don't you give this a try? And let's go through it. So f of negative 2. So we're simply just plugging negative 2 everywhere there's an x. and then we do the math. So you always do this exponents first. So it's 2 times 4. And then this is 8. So we do exponents, then multiplication or division, and then 8 minus 7 is 1. So this guy is 1. You have a calculator, have access to it. You have your Chromebooks. You have the calculator on there. You're literally just typing this in your calculator, and it will give you the answer. So I'm not trying to brain bust you. I'm just trying to help you. All right, so now we're plugging 2/3 in. So h of 2/3, 2 2/3 cubed minus 7 to the 2/3. So this is where you're going to want to try this in your calculator if fractions do freak you out, and plug that in. So we'll go over that in class. We'll make sure you understand the whole fraction thing. You shouldn't have an issue, but give that a shot. So when you're finally done with this particular one, I would never ask you to do something like this, like in your head. Part of this course is not teaching you how to add fractions or multiply them. So please, when we go over stuff in class tomorrow, please, or the next whatever day, make sure you know how to plug these things into your calculator on your Chromebook. All right, number 5. Now we're going to have things where we're actually plugging in. It's not necessarily a number. So when we're plugging in something like n plus 1, it's the same process. Everywhere there's an x, I simply just put n plus 1. So I'm putting f of n plus 1 everywhere I see it, and then put parentheses. N plus 1, that's going here, plus 7, all over it. Now this one, n plus 1 minus 3. Now we follow our order of operations. Multiplication, there's no multiplication. So now I am going to combine like terms, add or subtract here. So here on the top, it's n plus 8. So there's no multiplication to do. So it's almost like you didn't actually need those parentheses, but you should get in the habit of writing them. They're going to help you more than confuse you. And then 1 minus 3, and this is your answer. You can do nothing after that. That's it. Okay. So let's go up here to the next. Getting there. All right, now let's try this one. Same deal here. We're taking 3n and we're plugging in everywhere that there's an x. So g of 3n equals, this one's a little bit clearer to see. I realize the fractions can get a little fancy. And then we do our multiplication. So here I'm multiplying this through. 2 times 3n, that's 6n. The multiplication doesn't go to the 4, it just goes to there. So this is the answer there. G of 3n is equal to 6n minus 4. A couple more examples just so you have a quick idea. So we're going to plug in 2x plus 3 in for this one. So everywhere there's an n, I'm putting 2x plus 3. So remember, this is x. I mean, well, you know, that's n. We're plugging in right there. It's 2n minus 1. So hopefully it's not too confusing. And now you just simply do the math. So I'm going to distribute this in. So it's 4x plus 6 minus 1. So I just distributed there. And then 4x plus 6 minus 1, I can combine these two like terms. So it's 4x plus 5. All right, last one, putting t plus 3 in for t. So I'm going to take that and put that right there. T plus 3 equals 2 times t plus 3 minus 3. So now we distribute here. 2 times t plus 6 minus 3. So 2 times t is 2t. 2 times 3 is 6. And then this minus 3 has nothing to multiply, so it just comes down. And now I combine these like terms. So it's 2t plus 3 in the end. That's exciting. What a great... All right, so now you're going to try the rest of these on your own. You have a few of them to try, and we'll go over them in class. Please give them that old try and do the best that you can do so that when we go over it, it helps you better. Have a great day.